CLS program is a highly competitive and prestigious program of the U.S. Department of State. Each year, the program receives 5,500 applications for approximately 550 available awards. The program is very selective, but there are several ways that you can improve your application and become a more competitive candidate. We're going to talk through what it takes to be a successful applicant for the CLS program, and especially what you can do in your essays to prepare the best possible application. You may find detailed selection criteria for the CLS program on our website at www.clscholarship.org/apply. In a successful application, you need to address three big questions for the reviewers who will be selecting finalists. First, how does the CLS program and learning the language you are applying for contribute to your future academic and professional goals? Second, what specific interests, experiences, or background do you possess that make you a good candidate? And finally, how could you show us that you will be successful in the rigorous academic program and in the immersive cultural environment of the CLS program while abroad? The CLS program is a unique study abroad opportunity and its goal to support more and more diverse students to master languages that are critical to America's national security and economic prosperity. In particular, applicants are selected based on their plans to apply their language skills to their future academic or professional pursuits across every field. To make that case, begin with your field of study and consider how it is related to the language you want to learn. Take the time to think about how you can engage knowledge of this language and culture in your field. Also do some research to find out what people are doing in your field globally. Successful applicants come from a broad range of fields: medical fields, engineering, business, political science, and international relations, as well as arts and the humanities. Each applicant successfully makes a case connecting their studies and future goals with their language goals. Not everyone knows exactly where they'd like to end up professionally, but this is a chance for you to show that you have ideas about the professional field you'd like to work in. Be ambitious, but realistic, and try to avoid generalities. Be as specific about your career goals as you can. If you're a freshman or a sophomore, take the time to think about what you'd like to do and lay out a plan for how you'll get there. Later on in life, your plans may change, but you should show that you've given it substantial thought and that you're committed. If you're a master's or doctoral student, it should be easier to flesh out your career goals, and evaluators will definitely be looking for more evidence of a clear plan. How are you planning to use the cultural knowledge you acquire on the CLS program in your future career? Think about what it means to use your foreign language skills to be more culturally competent in a foreign culture. Why would cultural competence be key for communicating and working with people who speak the target language, and how will your experience abroad prepare you to engage with people both in the United States and in other countries? Say more than simply, "I want to contribute to international advances in my field." Give some examples of how specifically you want to contribute. Remember that when people are evaluating your application, they are generally not experts in your field of study, so you should explain how your studies intersect with language and what work you hope will be part of it. In addition to drawing a connection between your language and professional goals, you should lay out in your application what makes you different from other candidates with similar goals, and what you bring to the program that others don't. CLS students are diverse and come from all over the United States from an array of backgrounds, cultures, and life experiences, and with all sorts of different interests and goals. The CLS program wants to be representative of the student population in the United States. Think about who you are, where you come from, what experience and viewpoints you might bring to the program, and how you may benefit from sharing this experience abroad with other Americans who are different from you. Think about the uniqueness of your hometown, school, your family, and your friends. No matter who you are or where you're from, your life path has been unique, and you have overcome challenges and have a perspective that can help your application stand out from the crowd. Finally, you should highlight how you will be successful on the CLS program, which will challenge students with a rigorous academic schedule and immerse you in an exciting but stressful, unfamiliar cultural environment. First, consider ways that you have engaged with the language. Have you practiced speaking the target language with native speakers? What language learning techniques do you use in trying to keep up your language skills? If you have not studied the target language before, you might draw on your experience in studying other languages. Be prepared to talk about how you adapted to an intensive academic program or environment, but remember that the language you are applying to study should take center stage. Consider ways you can exhibit your interest and commitment that go beyond language learning. It's also critical for you to demonstrate that you have a plan to maintain and develop your proficiency in your CLS target language after the program completion. Especially if there are not classes at your school, what will you do to keep practicing? Try also to think about how you have adapted to new environments or cultures in the past. Consider examples from other study abroad opportunities, or if you've never been abroad before, experiences in your own community or in a different part of the United States. Think about how you initially approached these environments and what challenges you encountered. How did you adapt to them? Alternatively, how do you approach challenging situations generally? Before you answer the essay questions, try listing the coping techniques that you tend to use in new situations. Remember that the CLS program is about intensive, group-based language learning. The classes are supposed to challenge you, and on top of that, you'll be getting used to a place that is very different from the United States in terms of culture, food, conveniences, etc. Have you ever had to adapt to living outside your comfort zone before? How do you cope with these challenges? We'll now take a few minutes to go through each of the essay questions in the CLS application and discuss strategies for effective responses. First short essay question offers an opportunity for you to show how you adjust to new situations or situations with people who are different from you by drawing on your previous experience. Successful study abroad experiences often require traits such as flexibility, tolerance, openness, and adaptability. On the CLS program, you will be exposed to new opinions and worldviews. For example, you might find that there are differences in concepts of privacy, socially acceptable behaviors, the role of the individual in society, and/or values and political viewpoints. Give an example of when you had to adapt to a new and challenging environment or situation. What did you find challenging, and what strategies did you use to adapt to the situation? A successful essay is grounded in your previous experience and acknowledges the challenges of the program. It should show that you recognize your limits, but also that you are resilient. This is an opportunity to show that you know about yourself and the challenges that you will face. How have you dealt with challenges in your life? Do you have coping mechanisms or hobbies and interests that can sustain you in times of stress? CLS is an intensive program and it can be frustrating not to be able to communicate in your native language. It is normal to find new environments stressful, whereas it is concerning if you're not able to draw on previous experience of discomfort or stress and show how you dealt with them. Signaling open-mindedness and an awareness that not all countries have the same living standards and cultural norms as the United States will make your essay stronger. Finally, you should avoid cliches and not use the expression, "when in Rome." We strongly recommend applicants check out the University of Michigan's site, Resilient Traveling, and consider how these resources might apply to them on the CLS program. The second short essay question also speaks to challenges on the CLS program. Unlike the resilience essay, this one asks applicants to project into the future. The CLS program is an intensive group-based overseas learning experience. The program involves adapting to a new culture and environment, an intensive academic program, and mandatory cultural activities that may not always align with your interests. CLS involves building new relationships with people from the host country and functioning day-to-day in another language. CLS cohorts are often very diverse, and maintaining positive group relations can be challenging. There may also be challenges specific to the location in which you study and your own identity, background, and experiences. What aspects of the CLS program do you expect will be the most challenging for you? What knowledge, skills, and experiences will you draw on to meet these challenges? A successful essay will acknowledge some of the challenges of a group-based program abroad and explain why you think it is nonetheless the right learning environment for you. You should demonstrate that you understand what you are applying for and have a desire to commit fully to the program with all of its challenges. Personal qualities like flexibility, resilience, and openness to new experiences. Skills like perseverance and commitment. How you will make a positive contribution in a diverse group. Much of this essay will reflect the contents of your first essay. It is important to consider these essays together to make sure you don't waste too much space repeating yourself. Again, consider the first essay as an opportunity to speak about your past experiences, and look at this essay as an opportunity to make a case for your future success. The third short essay question gives you a chance to talk about your background and how you hope to contribute to mutual understanding through dialogue as a citizen diplomat. A key goal of the CLS program is to increase the number and diversity of Americans who study and speak critical languages in order to develop mutual understanding between the people of the United States and the people of other countries. Languages offer an opportunity for communication and exchange, providing the foundation of a more peaceful world. CLS program scholars bear responsibility for representing the United States as citizen diplomats in their host communities. They reflect a diversity of values, beliefs, and opinions that is fundamental to providing a balanced representation of the United States abroad. CLS program scholars are expected to contribute to the goal of building mutual understanding by sharing what it means to be an American, learning about the host culture, and building meaningful relationships. Make a case for how you will serve as an effective citizen diplomat abroad. How could you contribute to the mission of building mutual understanding between the people of your community and the people of your host community? CLS participant groups are very diverse. Think about who you are, where you come from, what experience and viewpoints you might bring to the program, and think about how you may benefit from sharing this experience abroad with other Americans who are different from yourself. Think about the uniqueness of things like your hometown, school, your family, or your friends. How will your background and experiences help to bring something special to the group dynamic and to your interaction as an American with people in the host society? Think about what aspects of your background you would like to share with people you meet in the host society, including both typically American things and also things that might challenge stereotypes about Americans. How are you going to share your culture with your peers and your host family abroad? Then, go beyond that. Think about not just what you can teach your host community about the United States, but also what you can bring back to your community in the United States and how your experience can have an impact on others. The fourth short essay is the shortest in the CLS application at a maximum of 200 words. It is no less important than the others, however. The CLS program seeks to support students who are committed to acquiring a high level of linguistic and cultural knowledge about the regions and countries in which they study. What interests you about the chosen target language and the people who speak it? How will you continue to study this language after the CLS program? The CLS program is not meant to be a one-off experience. It should be only one step on a successful applicant's road to gaining proficiency in the language they wish to study. For that reason, it is very important for applicants to represent a persuasive case explaining their enduring interest in the language and explaining how they intend to continue their studies following the program. You will need to do some research for this question to pin down what you can do after your CLS summer to continue to develop your language skills. Be proactive and forward-thinking. Don't harp on the fact that formal language study isn't available in your community, but instead be creative and show that lack of resources won't be an obstacle for you. Think about the next step in your language learning plan, such as graduate school or courses at your next planned institution of study. Finally, you're asked to complete a statement of purpose that addresses why you should be selected for a CLS award. This is the most space that you're given in the application to make a case for yourself, so use it wisely. You should address the 3 questions posed by the essay prompt, but make sure that what you say serves to pull together your application into a coherent argument. How will increased language and cultural knowledge help you to achieve your future academic or professional goals? Why is participation in the CLS program appropriate for you at this point in your academic and professional career? Why should the CLS program invest in you? What is it that you bring to the program? You need to make a coherent case for why mastery of this language is central to your academic and professional goals specifically. Talk about the trajectory of your studies and why CLS would be a natural next step. This is also your opportunity to summarize the case you have made throughout the application to show that you are committed to the language, that you are aware of the challenges and prepared to meet them, and that you bring significant personal strengths, and finally that you have a clear academic or professional plan to use the language you wish to study. With writing any kind of application essay, before you put pen to paper, think about what is really motivating you to apply. Think about the arc of your interests and studies and how CLS is a natural boost to getting you farther along towards reaching your larger goals. You want to give yourself time to tighten up your essays, get outside feedback, and make small improvements. Applicants who can make concise, clear, and strong arguments give themselves the best chance of success. And remember, don't forget to proofread your essays before you submit and get the perspective of an advisor or friend. On the CLS website, www.clscholarship.org, you can find a lot more resources that can assist you as you apply. You can also find a PDF version of the application to print out and use as a hard copy to mark up before submitting your application online. Remember, the deadline to apply is November 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Make sure to visit the CLS website for more information about the program. If there is still a question that you can't find the answer to, please write to us at cls@americancouncils.org, and we'll do our best to answer your email in a timely fashion. To learn more about other study abroad and exchange opportunities offered by the U.S. Department of State, please visit exchanges.state.gov cls.gov and stay in touch with us via social media. Thank you for your interest in the program, and we look forward to seeing your application.